Well, my name is Sasha Dinelli. My journey, I just started. This is not the end. It's just the beginning of it. I don't quite remember how I got here that fast, but I know there is God have something to do with it. When I say God, I call God Spirit because people call God God, but I call His Spirit, her Spirit. So that's how I got here. My journey here is to just basically have this restaurant because there's nothing here like this in Muncie, and Muncie needed because even though it's a small city, but there's a lot of great people here with big head and try to do good things. So Muncie, like the African cuisine, we have 5-6 Taco Bell here and probably 2 Dunkin' Donuts and so forth. But this is unique and it's needed, and I'm here. I'm not from Muncie, perhaps. I'm African. I was raised in Missouri. I was born in Africa, West Africa, but I was raised in Missouri. But this is great, I don't know, but I don't quite know how to explain it. It was like in the blink of an eye. When you're working with God and God is working with you, you move without even noticing what's happening till you get there. You're like, how did I get here, right? This is what happened to me, literally. God is my boss. I don't work for myself. I work for God. And this is needed. It's really needed because you have Ball State, with African students, international students, and I have been talking about this for probably 3 years, doing research on what people their taste bug is or what they like to eat, and and I met a lot of people. When I first moved to Muncie, I started cooking and inviting people, start building the community, just build relationship with people and just introduce my food after building a relationship. So yeah, I want to bring more there's no grocery store in Muncie. So the international grocery store. So the grocery store that I go to in Indianapolis, I have been talking to them to see if they can work with me. So we're working. I don't want to say too much on here because, you can't tell your whole story, but it will unfold as we go, so I'm excited. I am.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I didn't choose this. It chose me. It was God's plan. This is why Muncie. When I first met my husband, he was like, I'm from Muncie. And I'm like, what is that? Right? So when I moved there, I'm like, I didn't know nothing about Muncie till I met my husband. So I wasn't planning to stay, whatever, perhaps, but when something meant to be, it happened. So I didn't choose it. It chose me, basically. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. That's great.
Those ingredients mostly are, my brother actually taught me how to cook because he got these ingredients from my grandma, and it's like an ongoing thing. We have a big family, so what we did was my parents used to cook a lot, and when I mean parents, growing up in Africa, we have 4 or 5 moms, right? So they cook a lot because there's a lot of kids in the house. So I just started being interested in the food, on what they put in there, and just all the great ingredients. When people ask me, do you open for lunch? And I'm like, no, Africans don't eat lunch. We don't eat lunch. We don't. If you want lunch, you go in your backyard, you pick a mango or papayas. That's lunch or breakfast. But, African food just got popular from TikTok, literally, and Instagram, media. Because a lot of people didn't know. When we first moved from Africa, I moved to Missouri, Kansas City. It's my second home. And a lot of people used to, when we start cooking, our neighbor, I'm like, oh my God, your food stinks, right? The first thing they would say, oh, it stinks. Oh, you think it stinks? What about your pizza and your cheeseburger, right? So it was war all the time, but it was good war, But so the main dish is the jollof rice, and mostly when I was growing up in Missouri, most of my friends loved the palm butter. I don't know if you know anybody, but the palm butter was very popular. We have cassava leaf was very, and when you have African food, you're like, where have you been all my life? Really? Because I eat all the time. I'm a picky eater. That's why I opened a restaurant. And I feel not to put any restaurant down, but I feel people are not clean anymore. So I don't eat out like that.